So you're sitting down, you're firing up the YouTube, you're about to load up the latest episode of Skibbity Toilet, and you realize how much better this would be if you were tooting on a little bit of medical marijuana. And you know what? Bud Docs can make that happen for you. Super duper easy to get your medical marijuana recommendation.
Dr. Chen Latte is great. Tell him you're a Tom and Dan listener, and he'll definitely be happy.
Yeah. It helps us. It helps him. Here's the best thing about it. Once you've seen him in person for your initial consultation, after that, you can do telemedicine.
Yeah.
It will take you all of 35 seconds. It'll be more of like, hey, doc. He's like, hey, how you doing? You doing good? Like, it's super quick, super easy, and you can save a lot of money by going to his website.
Also, there's same-day appointments all the time, so even if you want to book your appointment, same day, go there, and then when you leave the office, you could leave with an email and go to a dispensary same day. So if you, hey, I want to get my medical marijuana license today, check buddocs.org, get a same-day appointment, and then when you leave, you can go to a dispensary and he'll go over all the bud deals with you before you leave, which all the dispensaries offer, like first-time buyers, ridiculous amount of deals.
Yeah, but Dr. Chen Latte's curated it. He spends a lot of time on the dispensary websites, and he curates all the deals for you, so you can just go to one area. It's a one-stop shop to save money on medical marijuana.
New patients are $175, existing patients are $125, transfer patients are $99, so if you see another doctor, transfer over to Dr. Chen Latte. Super easy. The telemedicine's easy. It's buddocs.org.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
And I bid you a fond skibbity toilet, Mr. Tom. It is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Our good friend from thebungalower.com, Bungalower in the Bus on Real Radio 104.1, editor. You're the editor-in-chief, right?
Yeah, of a staff of two.
Yeah. That's fine. Still counts.
Writer for Orlando Magazine. Television host.
Yeah.
You were on my LinkedIn.
For Very Local, I was. Yeah. I just take that now and I copy it into the chat room. But hey, Brendan O'Connor's here, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
I just did a talk for Orlando Magazine. I felt very fancy yesterday.
What was the talk about?
Media.
What about?
It was for a media conference. There were all these real journalists who do it like for reals, and they had me talking about storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you tell them all their jobs will be taken by AI soon?
Yeah, well, they actually had a whole breakout thing about AI, and they use it for coding. A lot of them use it for coding. If something happens with their website, they can just chat GPT their way out of it. And old people were like, AI, what?
Yeah.
There was like old school. They've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah. They're mad, right?
Yeah.
They're like, what's going on?
Yeah. I have a story. I have to clear some of these stories my wife's been telling me because she works in that field she's kind of lining up the tech. She's not on the tech side, but she's organizing the tech. And some of these older programmers she works with, I'm going to have to ask her if I can tell some of the stories because some of the guys that are programming code are in their 80s. And they're doing it by hand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about that, dude. That's crazy, though, right?
Our website,
they know what they're doing. They're just good at it.
The owner of Bungalower, he's, my boss, he kind of built sections of our website by hand in code, so if that's what we can't do anything with it, he has to do everything. If we pull on it, you pull on the thread, it'll all fall apart.
Yes.
So we always got to get him to do all the fixes.
That's like our show. I don't think people understand. No, seriously, every piece of equipment we use in here has been crudely daisy chained together by me, and only I know how to run it. And then our business, he has a series of digital and mental plate spinning he does in his mind that no one else can figure out.
I've been told not to use the graphics anymore.
No,
nobody wants to see AI graphics. They get mad. They don't want to see AI graphics. They don't want to see AI
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ours was the songs. They drew their line on the songs.
I was watching.
I still use the graphics because I put our faces on the graphics, and then they think that's funny.
I use it as a base to Photoshop from.
Right.
Exactly. So I don't have to pay for the photo.
That's exactly what I do too.
But I want to tell the people, if we have to use regular photos, you got to pay for that.
No, we can't.
Or some goddamn lawyer is going to try to sue you.
No, I'll be honest with you.
You have to ignore them.
We could not, if you go back and go to our YouTube, Tom and Dan Live, and for those of you that are listening to this audio only, please go to Tom and Dan Live on YouTube and like and subscribe. But if you go back 6 months from now, you'll see that we were never using any pictures of anything. It was just a still photo of us talking, and then I just put graphics over it, and it's very uninspiring. And
that's not true, because the whole reel coming into this, your whole opening video sequence, I was so impressed.
That's not me, though. That's Melissa. That's Melissa doing
Melissa did a great job.
That's Melissa, right? Yeah.
I was really impressed.
We had to hire this magical Key West video editor.
Awesome.
That we love, and she does all of that.
Okay.
But the
everything else crap.
Everything else is just we could never use photos ever because we got popped a couple of times.
No, I know. Yeah, I mean,
same.
For thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Well, but, you just ignore it.
Yeah, you do, but I'm just saying, I am
fuck off.
Yeah, sometimes you fuck off, sometimes you ignore it, but it was, I'll give the listeners the real number. It would have been $8,600 we owed.
Yeah.
For a picture of an Asian man with 3,000 hot dogs in his mouth and Zsa Zsa Gabor. A picture of Zsa Zsa Gabor and a picture of an Asian man with a mohawk with a
This photographer's lawyer wanted $10,000 from us, and we paid $5,000. We settled for.
You should have ignored it.
That wasn't me. It was my boss. He went for it.
Older people believe that stuff.
I wanted to countersue because it was somebody in our event calendar submitted a photo that was clearly trademarked. We didn't see it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, why don't we countersue these people who use the photo? It's their fault. It's not our fault that they put it in our calendar. We should be suing these stupid it was like a literary group that does live readings or something.
It turns out most of your problems you can ignore. And it'll be fine. I have proof. I've done that. Seriously.
Let me help you out.
No. You get anything in the mail and they just ignore it. Ignore everything.
I went to the urologist
it's all
last
fine.
week. No, I went to the urologist last week. Because I'll tell the real story. I haven't even told the story. I went to the urologist because I've had some...
What's his name?
His name is...
I assumed it was a man.
It is a man, yeah. Okay. Most of them are men.
My urologist
Dr.
looks like Henry Cavill.
It's not Dr. Johnson.
I want to know, my urologist looks like Henry Cavill, but with gray hair. And I always tell him, I hope I don't get a boner.
Does he laugh at that? You know what's funny? Because if there was an attractive lady...
You told your urologist, I hope I don't get a boner, and he looks like Henry Cavill?
When he gave me he did surgery on me once, and he afterwards he said, it was a pleasure being inside of you, easy surgery. And I was like, do you hear what you're saying?
I've seen the videos.
It's so much more fun when you can be gay and say these things. I can't say any of these things.
They put up the partition and your legs are spread.
I can't say that.
And then the doctor's going at it. I've seen the videos. And then
I can't say that.
The nurses came in, for some reason my feet were behind my head. They didn't know what was happening.
Nurse put his feet behind his head so I can eat his ass.
So, Brendan,
yes?
right before we started the show, I didn't know this.
That's my doctor voice, by the way.
But Daniel's like, how are you doing after you passed out and you had a medical emergency?
Well, no, Andrea told me, and I was like, I texted him immediately because I'm an awesome friend. No, I never see you. I never come out of my house. The least I can do for a friend is to text them because I don't leave my dwelling. I go from here to the house and from the house to here, and that's it.
You were fine.
But I was worried.
We knew we were going to see each other.
I knew I was going to see you Friday, but I was worried about him. And Andrea's like, did you hear about Brendan? He went to the hospital on an ambulance.
I did.
I'm like, what?
I did. did. I was so embarrassed. I don't like to. I don't do that. I'm on an ambulance calling. Tom
had a heart attack one time, and his wife called it. Okay, let me make you feel better. His wife called the ambulance on him, and he was pulled over on the side of the road like a little old man. And then the ambulance had to pull in front of him.
Because he kept farting?
No.
What do you mean?
It was back when I was doing kratom.
He was doing big scoops of kratom, and he was fat.
I'd do it before
he was fat kratom.
Wow.
You were fat kratom.
I had some sort of anxiety attack or something, and I thought I was having a heart attack.
So that's what I thought was happening.
He had done a couple too many scoops, and he was eating full public subs for lunch. We both were way fat.
Are we not supposed to eat full subs?
Not for lunch.
Half subs?
Half subs
it was for breakfast.
Whoa, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, it was like
I like them big.
No, but he was doing like a 10 a.m. Italiano.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that
Double
wasn't
mayo.
It was more of working out and doing kratom, and then some stupid anxiety.
It's all anxiety. You weren't working out that much. It was more the kratom, I would say. Have you done kratom?
No.
Would you do it with us?
No, it's fake. I don't like.
No, it's not fake. Trust me.
Like Delta 9 stuff. I don't.
No. This isn't Delta 9. This is like.
It's like that.
This is like a pain pill.
No,
This is like an opium.
What's the thing? I did something back in the day. It's the last thing I did where there were things that they sell at gas stations that'll get you fucked up, and it was like it was something you smoke and it feels like you're having a seizure for like 3 minutes. And
salvia.
Salvia.
Oh, yeah. And ever since that, I'll never do anything.
That's way more intense.
Kratom is a gentleman's powder.
It's redneck energy powder.
It is. No. Yeah.
Okay, so Brendan, back to what happened.
Okay. It's what repo men keep to get going.
So we were scouting out roofs in downtown Orlando. I'm doing an art project with the downtown Orlando Creative City project.
Can I say what it is? It's really awesome.
Yeah, pigeons. We're doing inflatable giant pigeons.
Hold on, what? They're badass, dude. They're bigger than me.
Yeah, they're like 13 to 15 feet tall.
How much are they?
You can sponsor more.
Are they expensive?
I don't really know.
They look fucking expensive, dude. I want a giant Tom and Dan inflatable pigeon, dude.
Yeah. Hold on. So what is this?
Okay, I got to rewind. This is. I guess this is a longer story than I thought it was.
Take your time. We got a whole show.
Okay, great. The Creative City Project. These are the guys that do that festival downtown where they'll close off whole blocks of downtown, and then it's like all of the arts community comes out and performs, and you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Your stare is blank.
I don't know anything about the arts.
He calls himself a little more of a DeSantis arts guy.
Got it. Okay. They're known for like immersive art programming, and the city has a boner for them. The downtown development board they repurpose a certain amount of taxes every year from downtown businesses and reinvest it downtown. So they're in charge of a budget of like $1 billion.
Andrea, my wife, who is I think should have been your wife, is in the chat room. She can help you. They put on the lights at Lou Gardens.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go, like the Christmas lights or the Halloween light show.
You know what we're dealing with here now.
I thought that was a business. The art. No, it's just
it's
for
a third
public
business. They do events. They're an immersive art event company.
Okay, there you go.
And so they really specialize in working with municipalities and public parks. And so they do those things where you walk through and it's like ooky spooky lights at Lou Gardens or the holiday ones, and they make it snow.
Okay.
So now they've been hired by the Downtown Development Board to do a series for a year of big art projects in downtown Orlando to try to make it more exciting now that the city's taking away drinking.
All right.
And the first thing they did was
we're taking away the drinks. All right, you're taking away drinks. Step one: inflatable pigeons.
So that'll bring them.
And we had a round table. We had a round table with them, and I was invited to talk about like cool things that we could do downtown. And I came in with this giant laundry list of things that I've always wanted to do downtown because I knew they had a budget, and they didn't like any of them. And we got to this point in the meeting.
Can you give us some of the ones that got voted down? Like, do you have one that like
swings? I wanted like light up swings, like where just things that are like kind of interactive.
So I can see a bum eating another bum's ass out of a swing. I mean, this bitch is pussy.
We have video. We have video of that. We have video of that in Meals 50 that I was going to share, and I was told not to share by my boss.
You have video of a bum eating another bum?
Yeah.
Hold on, that you should debut that on our show.
Do you want it? We should.
We should do a debut like they used to on TRL. We're like, and the number one video.
We'll call it like Bunga even lower.
Lowest bung.
Like the lowest bung. Well, anytime there's something we can't share, we'll just send it to you guys.
The lowest bung.
So it just came out. Well, he was like, well, I don't know. Well, what else would you want to see, Brendan? And he like, just make something up on the spot. And I was like, I don't know, like inflatable pigeons.
No, you did not.
I did. And I was like, and then.
This is what Tom does with all of our business.
And the guy called us.
How do we get more business?
Inflatable pigeons.
I'm like megaphone TV. That's what we're working around.
And Cole Neesmith, the head of this company, he was like, oh, yeah, there's something there. And so immediately he's on the phone. They ordered, like, I was like, well, I don't, like, it could be neon. It could be like a spectrum of these.
Get my balloon maker on the phone.
Colors. I sent him a rendering, maybe what it could look like, and then he ordered
Chester,
them.
yes,
they have an inflatable person in France or something who made them.
And make it the pigeon. But sir, we are going to use them for the Olympics. No, they go to Orlando.
A French inflator.
I think they're French. I don't know. And now he had to come up with an artist statement about
balloons,
it.
Dude. The French are balloon crazy.
Hold on. So
no, that checks out. This is all tracking.
Yeah, so they'll be on the roofs of downtown Orlando. As you go through downtown Orlando, there will be giant Big Brother pigeons looking down at you in the streets. There's like 9 of them, I think.
Well, there could be 10 if we buy one. Let's buy one, dude.
Now, no offense to the government, but this is why the government shouldn't come up with marketing ideas.
I have to say, the government had nothing to do with the selection of the art programming. They have paid this group to do whatever the hell they want. With these funds, they were given a certain amount of funds to just go out and be creative and do things downtown.
I love this kind of stuff. It's a no purpose.
I actually think it's going to be good.
Let me change it. This is why the government shouldn't be allowed to spend the money that we give them.
Well, what would you use it on? Give me your idea. What are you going to use it on?
I would say bring back the booze.
Well, you can't.
Make rent cheaper, subsidize the rich to get businesses back in there.
They're doing that.
Inflatable pigeons don't do shit.
They have a rental assistance program for retail and restaurants. If you want to open a restaurant downtown, they can help subsidize your rent to do that because they want more restaurants. They want more shops. But they don't want nightclubs and bars. I think
most people seem in the chat room to be very pro inflatable pigeons.
I actually think it's going to be really fun.
I think it'll be funny. Yeah, I'm into it.
So my last job with it was to scout out the locations, and then we had to go do a tour of the rooftops of these buildings who were going to participate. So we were doing it at like 3 PM.
So you're up there looking to see what rooftop is best for the giant inflatable. How big is this inflatable pigeon, by the way?
I think
bigger
like
than
15
me,
to 20 feet tall. We have a photo, and I'll send it.
It's way huge.
A 20-foot tall
It's on my
pigeon.
Instagram, Bkeeps, BKEEPZ. We shared a photo of it, of the first one that they inflated. And they're inflating all the rest of them this week to make sure they all work. They're going to have a little steel frame so they don't tip over in the breeze, and they can deflate if there's a storm coming. So we were just going to plop them on the roofs, but we have to make sure the roof access makes sense. There's places to anchor it. These are old buildings. These are old, ancient, old buildings. And we got like the Beecham's going to do one. Maybe the library, the new Parliament House downtown. So I got to tour the new Parliament House, which has really come a long way.
All right.
Building Wall Street. And so when we got to Wall Street, it was only like the third or second stop. It's all a blur on our tour of buildings.
Now, why pigeons, by the way?
Well, pigeons are in cities.
They are.
It makes sense to me.
Do you want to know my artist statement answer to that? Yeah. This is my official answer to that.
Sure.
Pigeons have been a part of urban life for as long as we've had cities. People built palaces to pigeons because we used them for messaging. We ate them. They were a big part of living in town.
He's prepared for your stupid question.
I've seen Game of Thrones. It's ravens that they send, not pigeons. Pigeons are the rats of the sky. Everybody knows that. There's a reason they call it a pigeon lady or bums.
There was a disconnect when Black Plague, there was a disconnect. People think that they cause disease. And then there's also this thing called the urban boundary or transect. I can't remember the official phrase for it, but where people feel like certain animals don't belong in cities. And when you see an animal in a place like a public park that's being built for people, when you see that species there, it rocks your whole foundation of what civilization is.
Oh, it makes you sad. Like you see a bald eagle eating out of a trash can, you're like, God.
I like that.
Or like a coyote.
Consumerism. Like, that to me is American.
A black bear in a public park. You know, it makes you, like, they don't belong here. This doesn't belong. So, or like these
why did it have to be like that? That was a bad example.
Speciesist.
Yeah.
And so people have this guttural reaction to pigeons as the same way. They're dirty, they carry disease, they poop everywhere.
Don't tell that to Mike Tyson, he'll knock your fucking head off.
But they actually have a very noble relationship of being with us. And so my artist statement is like, we're magnifying the scope and we're making it so you can't ignore the pigeon.
You were prepared for uncultured swine like Tom that are like, why didn't you spend this money on more casinos? Or something, right? Is that what you want?
Yeah, I'm just giving my take.
Where's our goddamn baseball team?
I'm just telling you what the people feel.
They're still going to feel that way.
I'm excited because the things are humongous. I just want to stand next to one so I look like even smaller than I am.
I think it's fun. It's going to call attention to the cities, or to the buildings. It's going to make you look up. But in that process of finding locations, I got sunstroke, and we were at Wall Street, and all of a sudden I started seeing colors, and I was like, oh, this is bad. This isn't like, that was my innate reaction.
Like hallucinating?
Oh. Yeah, I was like hallucinating.
Because you were up on the buildings, like on the roofs.
I hadn't even gotten on the roof at Wall Street. I was just holding the ladder, and then I told the guy, I was like, I got to go sit down. I think this is one of those instances where I need to put my head between my knees, because I'm starting to feel dizzy. And I suck my dick.
Yeah. Every 3 minutes, this guy sucks his own dick. We get it. You got a big dick, and you're flexible.
And I did, so I just went and I sat down, and it was in this alleyway behind Wall Street, which is never being cleaned.
Oh, no, the pee-pee alley?
I think it's where all the pee goes. Like, pee and vomit and poop, like wherever when they pressure wash it, this is where it all goes. And I was sitting on a milk crate, and I was like, oh no. And I was like, oh, here I go. And I laid down on the brick, and I was like, I don't even care how gross this is. I was in short shorts, like I could feel filth on my leg, and I was just like,
oh my God.
And I was like, I can't move. Like, this is like, I'm just really dizzy. I'll be fine. And then the guy came down, and he got me a water, and then I could see in the distance, I was like, oh, there's the History Center, and that's where Scotty works. And if I make it in there, I could at least have some air conditioning and just lay down on this carpet.
Crawled
through the pee-pee.
I started to, and then he helped me get up. And then I realized he dropped me off kind of in the foyer, which was very air conditioned. All the ladies knew me. And I was like, I'm a little warm. I need to sit down. And that's when I realized,
sucking your own dick again.
Scotty wasn't there, and I knew that, and I had forgotten. So Scotty was at home, and I was like, well, shit, there's nobody here to help me, and I just sat on this chair, and then I fell out of the chair onto the floor.
Did you faint?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Was it insanely hot?
I know it's hot. It was like a melt.
Did you eat anything?
It was a faint.
I had cereal and frozen berries with
and
yogurt.
The fact that you're talking
water.
about fainting is going to make me tell the time I fainted. My head went through a pillar. It's his favorite story.
It was rough, and I was on the floor trying to soak up the cold from like the. It's not granite, but what is it? Marble. Yeah, it's like a marble mausoleum.
That does sound nice. Just lay on it. You should have taken off all your clothes.
I was like very close to
Coney 2012 and just start throwing
I pulled my shirt up a little bit. Like, it was gross, and I was just wet. And then there was filth from Wall Street.
Oh, man.
I looked like a homeless person.
And then they called the ambulance?
Well, Heather, this beautiful...
Scotty's homeless boyfriend's in here.
Well, they were like...
his own dick.
They all knew me. I hosted their Christmas party as Brenda. Like, they knew me. And all of these people were like, Brenda, do you need something? What's happening? And I was like, I think I need help.
Oh, no. That's embarrassing.
I'm sorry.
I know. Like, I think I need 911.
Wow.
And they called it, and then they were there in no time, and everybody was like so nice to me, and they hooked me up to the IV. And they all started laughing because the water was just like gushing from the IV. And like, I was just like
super
soaking
dehydrated.
It up. Yeah. And they started chanting chug. In the ambulance, they were like, chug, chug, chug. And I was just soaking up the IV.
Yeah.
And at one point, I was like, because when they were putting the IV in, the guy put my hand right on his crotch because he had to keep my hand still.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him, and I was like, I guess you're handsome, but I'm so out of it. I don't even fucking care that I'm touching your junk right now. And that's when I knew I was sick. Because I didn't even try to tickle him.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I'm not being inappropriate at all.
No, something's wrong. Yeah, but they had me out of the hospital. They brought me to RMC. They filled me with fluids and kicked me up. So now I'm just tired. I've just been tired for 2 days.
There's a misconception that firefighters are as professional as doctors. They're not.
No,
you taught me that.
Let me
They
just
were
tell you, they are
They
not.
were really fun.
Those guys have a good time.
Two of them were from Polk County. They had just transferred here, and so I know all about them and things that they were seeing in Polk County. Gunshot wounds, I guess, which are a big thing in Polk County.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, right now in Orlando, it's dehydration, and people don't know. And I thought I was hydrated. I thought I was doing what I needed to do, but I'm a big boy, and it was gone.
It kind of creeps up on you too. It's not like it doesn't take much at all. I remember I completely passed out at a soccer game I was playing, and I don't remember, and I had to go to the hospital in an ambulance as a young child, and it was weird, and it never happened again because I just consistently try to hydrate, but it's scary, dude. It's
It is scary. It was scary. Now, it's scarier waiting for the bill.
I'll get you with that.
Yeah.
Just ignore it. That's I told you at the beginning of the show. And guess what? I've always done that. And nothing happens.
I'm trying to buy a house. I can't.
I got a jury summons yesterday.
Ignore it.
I don't even ignore it. I ripped it and I burned it like I was trying to hide a murder.
Nothing will happen.
Yeah, it's done.
So back to the pigeons. So what is the best case scenario here? Because I can't imagine what.
Well, you want them up for a long time, kind of like Earl's mural on the side of what used to be Harry Buffalo. I would imagine you'd want these pigeons up. You'd want people taking photos.
They'll
with
be
them
up for
in the
2 months, up on the roof. Yeah, people are going to take photos.
Is there an official hashtag for the pigeons?
No, and I keep telling them they need little vinyl poop imprints that they can put on the pavement with like a QR code that can tell people that they washable chalk.
The chalk, and draw like a giant white splotch.
Wouldn't that be funny? All
like
over
it came
downtown.
right out of the Kawaka.
Or
Cloaca.
Just like
Cloaca.
Just like the dragon in Diagon Alley at Universal, like every half an hour it sprays white poop off the roof.
That's not a good idea.
You'll use foam or something.
Make it snow.
Like a foam party.
And then everybody waves at their cheers when the white poop sprays.
Or maybe
some oatmeal.
It's missing something.
What if
women
I think that's
flash
their tits to the pigeon? And then he shoots foam on them.
There it is. Yeah. I'll go downtown.
I'm an idea guy.
I like that. Or there's just someone up there. We just pay homeless people to throw eggs at you. Every time you stop to take a photo of a pigeon, you get hit in the side of the face by an egg.
Not to set this in motion. But the thing you got to worry about, because my wife and her ragtag group of friends from Detroit, Michigan, would drive around at night trying to steal inflatables.
They're all on the roofs.
From like McDonald's. Well, it was on the top of a McDonald's. They had like an inflatable Justin Timberlake. My wife's climbing up a damn roof to try and get it. Are you worried about that at all?
I'm not. I've done my part.
I think I did.
To be honest, I'm kind of done. After that incident, I'm good. I just got to get my check.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Now, I do imagine when someone is being stabbed downtown, and then as they die, the last thing they see is the inflatable
neon yellow pigeon.
That's funny. And then they'll die. We'll be like, "Oh, pigeon," because you're stabbed because downtown is a hellhole.
Depending on how it goes, I think it'd be fun to do like a pigeon pub crawl or something. Like we all get those pigeon masks and we just go bar to bar. But that's the exact opposite of what they want people to be doing with this art, But why not?
Yeah, I kind of like that it's a little rudderless, and it's like it's going to be there, and it will be what it is. I like that a little bit because then it makes it a little more art.
At the risk of putting my foot in my mouth, I actually think a lot of the art initiatives downtown are kind of rudderless. With this reaction of that they're throwing money at the art solutions to bring people downtown. I think it's missing a call to action, or
because it makes the artist happy because it feels like they are getting funding or a point.
It's great.
The French guy, someone's using my pigeon.
Yeah, finally somebody ordered all night.
My wife said I was stupid.
Yeah, you told me every day. You're telling me you built the giant pigeon. You are fool. Fuck you, bitch.
These idiots in Orlando.
They bought all of them, all 9.
I don't know. It's just the.
And a podcast wants to build 10. Number 10 will be ours.
Do you really want one?
I want to know what it would cost because I think it's funny.
Let's ask them the cost.
I think it's funny what it costs. I can't commit to anything because I
kind of wanted them to be ibises, like a Florida bird.
A little more
I thought would have been more fun, but pigeons are cool.
Based on the responsible nature of how the government spends their money, I'm assuming that it's very, very reasonable.
I'll value it, if you will.
And it's not will blow your goddamn mind when you find out how much these pigeons cost.
I actually think it's the coolest thing they've done so far.
Swans?
My wife since they've started.
Swans? No swans? Or are we swanned out?
Well, I don't want any otters to come kill them. Did you see that?
No.
An otter found its way to Lake Eola and it killed 2 black swans and a duck.
Oh, see, that I'll go see. See, that will bring me down to downtown. I'll watch an otter kill a swan.
Yeah.
So an otter made its way in there.
I don't know how it got there. Like stormwater sewers or something.
Are our black swans more? Do we have less black swans than white swans?
Yeah,
that's
because
they're
expensive. They're Australian.
Oh my God, that sucks.
Yeah, they're gonna. Now they have to buy a whole bunch more. It's like $500 a piece, I think, for a swan.
Oh, can we buy a swan?
Cheaper than pigeons.
Yeah, it would be.
I actually think they should have an adopt a swan program.
I'd buy one right now.
Where corporate
for my family.
Yeah,
I just buy one.
Yeah, and then if it's you can get updates on like what it's doing.
Yeah. Put a collar around his neck. I want to track it at all times.
I'm going to pitch that. I'm going to actually pitch that to the city. They should
tell them you've already sold one.
Maybe
that'll help.
But we need to spray paint the Tom Dan logo on it. I'm paying for it.
You can get a geotag put on it.
We'll do some more modifications.
They get banded. So you could get a geotag band on your swan.
Find it.
And you could always see it on an app or something, like a Find Your Friends. And you could always see where your Tom and Dan bird is.
That'd be dope.
That's cool.
That would be dope.
I need the logo on the feathers.
We can do that too. We can do that too. We could have.
Sorry, I just saw it in the chat. They're right. The otter did get relocated. They captured it humanely, and it was relocated to Econolakachi.
Did they determine that the otter was just doing what otters do in killing the swans?
Yeah, that's why they didn't want to hurt it.
Okay, it wasn't like because normally when they.
I didn't think an otter would kill a swan.
I didn't either.
Opportunistic killers.
Then again, I didn't think most people ate buttholes. But they do. They eat them a lot. Like it's like everyone I know except for me and you. They're the only 2 people I know.
They'll eat anything, but maybe the swans attacked it, because it was in there. They're very territorial swans, and that's a very small lake / sinkhole. So they're all apex predators fighting for their spot. So maybe it won a fight and ate them.
I would get the East, our friends at the East, Derek and Earl, to tattoo our logo on us.
All right.
So it's permanent.
Earl Funk?
Yeah, you put the...
He did my tattoo.
Oh, yeah? He did
my love bugs.
This whole arm.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Great.
Wow, look at that.
Tattoo sisters.
You could get the swan and put it down like Dax Prescott. It's not going to feel a thing. You could fatten it up, check its health. That's when you put the band on it, and then you tattoo our logo on it.
Orlando does need a better identity because we have the fountain, and that's basically we just use the fountain for
it has a name. Did you know the fountain has a name?
Really?
Yeah, the Linton E. Allen Memorial Fountain. It's named after the guy that paid for it. He went on a trip to Paris or France. And he came back and was like, we don't have any fountains in Orlando, so he paid for it. He was like the founder of First National Bank or something.
I brought you a French fountain.
Why are we getting all our stuff from the French?
They got the best stuff.
The City Beautiful movement kind of all came from, the French aesthetics. Yeah.
Just something cooler.
Like something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it just needs something better than the fountain and some swans and some big inflatable pigeons.
Well, I hate our flag. I think it looks like a lactating nipple. The fountain.
Yeah,
it's
my son
good.
speaking of like art installations, remember when they had those white ball pit downtown?
Oh my God, yes.
Like my sons really like that.
No.
That was pre-pandemic.
Yeah. There was a giant white ball pit, like a McDonald's ball pit.
That was, of course, the Van Boys like
that was
oh shit!
That was these guys. Tom, that was these guys. Creative City Projects.
That was a good idea.
You're already loving it. You just love the trashier stuff.
We called it a super spreader.
He's out trashing me on that one. I didn't even, man.
We jumped in the ball pit, and me and my sons were playing around in there. I was throwing them in the ball pit, and I was like, this is awesome. Who built this ball pit for free?
And they had to really section it off at night to keep the drunks and homeless people out of it.
What, were they sleeping in it?
And then someone was like, there's some free cell phones down here at the bottom. And I was searching around. But I was like, there's some inflatable pigeons.
Jared from Subway.
An abandoned baby.
In there.
They found 2 babies at the bottom.
Bring back the ball pit.
Okay. You can't. Post-pandemic, we've learned too much.
No.
You'll never see a public ball pit ever again.
God damn it. Well, all right. Let's take a break.
Okay.
When we come back, are you familiar with Skibbity Toilet, Brendan?
No.
All right. Oh, I'm going to explain to you what this is because I read entirely too much about Skibbity Toilet, and now I understand it.
He's extremely mad about Skibbity. He was mad,
but now
real mad.
But I understand it, and there's also some numbers involved that'll blow your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
And then now
is this like Squatty Potty?
Huge directors.
Nothing like that. Okay. No, that's where I would have gone to.
Michael Bay is involved now. It's a whole thing. But
we got Hollywood movers and shakers.
But I understand it more than I
can't wait
did before.
to learn.
Okay. Well, all of that and more. Brand new music from Cliff Diver. We'll be back with more A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. 1-844-TOMNDAN for last minute calls.
If you need help with your mortgage, Streamline Mortgage Solutions. It's streamlineflorida.com. Brian Zeimel's cell phone number is right on that webpage. If you click on the Tom and Dan logo, his number's there. You could text him or call him at any time.
He can answer any question you have. He will not answer questions about Skibbity Toilet. He doesn't know anything about that, but he knows mortgages, and he knows how to get a plan together for you to be pre-approved. For you to, buy your home, or if you just have never done this before and you're just, maybe you have anxiety about it, give him a call. He knows exactly what it's like to be concerned about purchasing a home. He'll walk you through everything.
Yeah, and even if you're thinking about purchasing a home in the future, now's the time to get a plan together, get the pre-approval, figure out like what you need to do. Maybe you need to tweak some things with your finances. Brian can tell you all that. Also, there's a lot of programs available that incentivize first-time home buyers and other things like that. I know the Hometown Heroes program did come back. So talk to Brian Zeimel about all of that. It's streamlineflorida.com.
There's nothing like a little bit of shoegaze to ease yourself into a weekend. Oh, sorry, Brendan. Need to turn your microphone.
It's very Flaming Lips-ish.
Yeah, a little bit. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Brendan.
So, Brendan, you really haven't heard of Skibbity Toilet?
No, I have no idea. I think I heard you mention it like offhand or something.
Well, it makes sense because this is most popular with Generation Alpha, which is anybody born after 2010.
Okay. It sounds like how you
young kids
train someone like on like Cliff Huxtable would train you to go to the toilet.
No, Skibbity Toilet.
Skibbity. You know what? Between your explanation and your dumb impression, I'm sold. That you guys got me. That was the best impression you've ever fucking done on the show. He's never done an impression.
Oh, really?
He was like, that was better than I could do.
Is that black voice?
Well,
that's his black voice. Yeah, that's his black voice.
It's actually a rapist voice.
It is. It's the last thing you hear before you pass out.
Skibbity Toilet.
Did you hear that in the ambulance?
And he poops on me.
So anybody anybody with kids, especially under 10 or around the age of 10 or young teens or whatever, have probably heard of Skibbity Toilet, and just like me, have probably dismissed it as stupid because my sons
because it's a movement and you don't like being told to like something.
Yeah. I did the stereotypical old man where they show me, which like our parents, we showed them my bum is on a moose, Tom Green, and then they're like stupid.
Tom Green.
My dad laughed at that, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
you guys got Tom Green here?
Oh, yeah, dude.
That was Canadian.
We also got Red Green. That's Canadian, too, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait. You know what? That's funny. That's where I was going. I was thinking of Red Green.
Red Green ruled.
Yeah, he did rule.
I love the
duct
shit
tape
out
on
of
everything.
Yeah, duct tape on everything. Dude, Red Green, I grew up with... a lot of, I like a lot of dad jokes and simple humor because of fucking Red Green. What a great show.
Canadians.
Yeah, that's a goddamn good show. I'm going to go watch that tonight.
He was handsome.
So a story recently came out where the headline was Michael Bay is now getting into the Skibbity Toilet business.
I can't remember who that is. Could you tell me?
He is the director of Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't he the one that, made...
G.I. Joe, I think?
Didn't he make what's her name?
Ruining my childhood.
No, he made old. Who's married to MGK? Didn't he make her
Megan Fox?
Yeah, didn't he make her run around in her
He made her wash his car. Or something.
He did some super misogynistic. He's like, well, to see if you're. Well,
there was a scene of her washing a car.
Yeah.
Didn't you see if it was just like I asked the Camel Girls to send me a pic. Before we choose them.
And then they send.
I'm joking. I don't. And then they do that voluntarily.
You know what sucks is they'll send a picture or screenshot of the bikini from Amazon, and he's like, not good enough. Put it on. Put it on. And then he's like, pull it tight so I can see that camel toe.
No, I don't. I don't say that.
But do you?
No, I don't.
He's thinking about it now.
Daniel makes me sound horrible.
Yeah, because I know you're horrible.
No.
Because nobody...
But he's not sexual like that.
Oh, he's definitely sexual.
But secret closet sexual.
Yeah. Oh, this guy? He's the deviant one of the two of us.
Come on.
I'm open with mine, which means I'm nerd. This guy, oh man, he's tying it up. Purple
I did
titties.
watch all the 50 Shades of Grey movies recently.
Oh, really? Okay, so back to Skibbity.
Boring. Yeah.
Skibbity. So I'll show you one of the Skibbity Toilet.
I want to see.
Yeah, we'll start with the beginning.
Is it the best
episode you call it? It's really not an episode. So to describe to anybody listening on audio, I'm sure if you're a parent you've seen this, but it's bad CGI. And there's a human head coming out of a toilet, and he's singing a song. Okay. And that's essentially it. But I'll get into.
Yeah. So this is some of the first episodes of Skibbity Toilet.
What the heck is going on you?
There we go. A CGI head.
What the heck is going on?
This is episode 2 right here.
What is this for?
Okay, so it's nonsense.
Excellent.
So it's just art.
Yeah, I guess that's what this is. Now, these are inflatable pigeons.
Oh.
Right?
Okay,
how dare you?
How dare you? Brenda starts beating me up.
Take a pigeon shit on my art like you just did.
No, but it is art, right?
No, it's fun. That was a catchy song.
So, it's art.
So I looked further into this, and if you deep dive into what the actual meaning or the plot is of Skibbity Toilet, it's
very train spotty.
It gets into more because as you get through the episodes, these Skibbity Toilet, the human heads coming out of the toilet, there's like an army of them, and it looks like they're invading the United States.
Wait, there's an arc to this?
Yeah. Okay,
it's actually a story. So there are these toilet heads they're invading. They could either be alien beings, they could be a virus.
No,
right? Have you read that?
Yeah.
It could be either one of the two or something other than that. As these shows go on, you see less and less humans. It appears that all humans have been eradicated, and then you have a series of toilets. They're warring with a series of TV and camera head humanoids.
Yeah, so then the TV head...
So it's like a classist to take on classism?
Well, I knew you would be perfect for picking up... this is your lane, dude.
The analogy is the old school media, which is the TV heads.
Camera head.
The Skibbity Toilets are new social media and YouTube.
Like memes.
And they're taking memes, and they're taking over a world filled with old media, which is the camera heads, right?
As soon as I read that, I light bulb it on.
It's to music like the Sharks and the Jets.
Yeah, and then there's this bizarre music.
Not anymore. The music has been phased out. Now it's just like epic tank battles.
What?
Okay, yeah.
Now it's basically, while Tom explains a little more, I'll pull up a more recent
So then
episode.
why is Michael Bay behind
Okay, I'll explain.
Yeah.
So
it gets a little weird.
So when I saw the headline, because I looked at all this and I'm like, this is stupid, and anybody listening to this will look at it and say it's stupid, right?
But is everybody watching this?
Kids are Generation Alpha, whatever.
He
My
asked
kids.
a very good question, though. He said, "Is everybody watching this? Why don't you tell him how many people are watching?"
Okay, so this is why Michael Bay is involved.
Because it's pretty close to everybody.
This has amassed 65 billion views. It averages 3 billion views a month. Also, it's on Roblox, and there's Skibidi Toilet games on Roblox, which is another users make their own games and whatever. So the Skibidi Toilet Roblox games get an average of 20 million players a month, right? So with
what are they doing in the game? Pooping on each other?
Just nothing. It's just nonsense.
It's
nothing.
And one of the articles I read about and SJ is in that world. He can give us more data on this. But in one of the articles I read about the Roblox servers for Skibidi Toilet, there's never a time when the servers are not to capacity. Like there's never a time when it's not running with full amounts of humans in there playing.
How are brands interacting with people in like Roblox? Like how does that work?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because this is why I believe Michael Bay got involved. Because Michael Bay said, at first I thought it was a bullshit onion. Like
you were very mad.
I was like, no way. But,
he was very mad.
But think about it. With the amount of marketing that this Skibidi Toilet nonsense, and by the way, the kids don't even know the plot. Like we said the plot, and like the other YouTubers have explained the plot.
No, adults are the only people I know that know the plot.
Yeah.
Like my daughter does not know. I'm guessing Tommy and Max do not know the plot.
Because they can take it just at face value.
And then it's a video that comes up in their reel, and then they watch it and they just move on to the next, but they're aware of it. And 65 billion people, or has been viewed 65 billion times.
It's so gross looking.
Well, the song has been now it's evolved. That I just showed you 1 and 2.
Okay,
this is 67. So watch this one and tell me.
Is this made by AI?
Same guy.
No, it's
a gaming modeling software. So now it's like a war. Most humans are dead. It's a war between the toilets, and there's the camera guys running around.
But someone's behind this programming it to be there.
Yeah, somebody's drawing this.
There's a company called Invisible Narratives that is...
Oh, I love that.
See, there's the guys flying around are like toilets with heads. The toilets have now taken some of the camera guys and some of the TV heads, some of their weaponry, and they've affixed it onto their toilets to make more powerful toilets.
So it's still nonsense. But the brand equity that has been built worldwide because of the views is why Michael Bay is involved, and also
it's not just Michael Bay, it's Adam
Goodman.
Yeah, because he wants the movie right.
So, because
can you believe that?
Because think about because
he's a built-in audience of billions of people.
Yeah, the marketing of it, and so
businessman over here.
It's nonsense now, but because people will just recognize the brand name of Skibidi Toilet. So you just take that and turn it into something.
No matter what he says, just based on brand alone, just name.
Video games to movies make sense now, right? So, but this, I don't know how you do that with this. I don't think the kids want that. I think it's going to be like some boomer take on something that, like, they don't want this to have value, right? Like, your daughter not knowing about the narrative says that she's just taking it as it is. So if someone tries to sell her a movie, she'll probably just be like, why?
Well, I also think that's part of the reason that this vehicle gets pushed forward, and I was having a hard time articulating this, but maybe since you're here, you can help me. There is a certain amount of punk rock, the fact that this doesn't make sense, that keeps it moving down the track, right? Like the
fact that we don't like it also helps the younger generation like it more.
Correct.
Okay.
It amplifies it for sure.
Like ankle socks.
Yeah.
I love ankle socks.
I do too. I love ankle socks. I don't care.
So this is
excellent example.
Yeah.
This is the bizarre part, is like why this even got popular or drew attention to begin with.
That's the part we can't figure out.
Because it's not just because of how weird it is.
It's that song got in my head. I can still hear it.
Yeah. Well, that was originally the song. That is a remix of a song that there's a gentleman that, the guy with a big belly and he makes his belly bounce?
Me?
That's the same song.
Okay, yeah.
There's a meme guy. There's an internet famous gentleman who's Middle Eastern that makes his belly go like boom, 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 boom to a beat. And it's the same fucking song.
Yeah.
I want to DJ with that song in it. Like, I want to...
It's out there. It's, I forget the guy's name.
I want to DJ that. I want to DJ that at gigs. I want to start playing that, and everyone in the bar is like, yeah.
So
eating cholo dogs.
There's also the comedy that I find, because I read a bunch of articles on this, and of course, like any middle-aged person is looking at this, and this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen, right? But they have to take it seriously, and they have to analyze it, because there's so many eyes on this. Like corporations, like Michael Bay and the production companies are like, we need to tap into why this is so popular and benefit off of it.
Who's the chick that called Kamala Harris brat? She's Kamala Harris is so brat.
Charlie XXO.
And now everyone's like, these Fox News correspondents are trying to dissect what brat is, you know, and if it's good to be brat, and it's so.
Well, Brat Green. Brat Green is the color of the year. Brat Green is the color of the year.
What's Brat Green?
Brat Green is like almost like a slime green. Seriously, I'm dead serious.
Oh, I learned what Skibbity, Ohio means.
It
means from your kids?
Well, I was reading the article.
Here's the guy I was talking about.
What's his name?
This guy right here.
It's going to be like Suleiman.
Yeah. It's...
That's the original.
Oh, yeah.
That guy that does the belly bop. That's the original, okay? I'm breaking down the meme for you now. That was the original.
Am I attracted to this man?
And then that, he's got the moves. It is hypnotic, his belly. Yeah, he does it in a brown shirt, and it's even better because it almost makes him look like he's shirtless.
Yeah.
And you like kind of look like, it looks like he's made of caramel.
Yeah, I want to see him like eat some candy cane or something.
Yeah, he's cool. But yeah, that song then got remixed into this toilet video, and then I think it just started literally as a 3D modeling fun thing with a toilet, and then he just started building the story on. He didn't have a...
What was the name of the group again? He said No Narrative?
It's called Invisible Narratives.
Invisible Narratives
is the company that's now headed by the former CEO of Paramount Pictures, and there's big business in this because people don't understand when you're talking about like Roblox and 20 million people playing that a month, and then like 3 billion views a month is such an insane number that. Already, you can, just by, simple YouTube monetization, you're talking about millions and millions of dollars.
I love that that's coming out of this, like, self-driven video game environment where these kids are, like, they're building their own environments.
It's called machinima when you take, like, video game art and then you reanimate it. That's all this is machinima. And then it's built on, is it the Fallout program? So a lot of the... deliverables that would be in the game, he's going to be using them. You'll see things you recognize in there.
Yeah,
it's everything. Everything in there is
because Fallout is where you can get like skins of like popular movie characters and stuff, right?
I think so. Now, it may not be Fallout. I may be getting the name of the game wrong, but I know it is built on a platform where you will have some familiarity there.
But the other weird thing to me is like, okay, let's go back to like the Ninja Turtles franchise when I was a kid, right?
Let's do it. I love them.
And who's going to buy me that Ninja Turtle lamp?
And so we like it made sense when I was a kid. Like, I like Leonardo because he's a cool one, and Donatello's the dork scientist.
Donatello, not Donatello.
Whatever it is.
That's the adult porn version.
You can't say it. It's like my dad couldn't say sledgehammer. He called it a sludgehammer.
And then you can relate to one of the Ninja Turtles, and then you picked the one you like best, and there was a plot or whatever. And then but
I was Michelangelo because he's a party dude.
Raphael because he had a big dick.
Like if you ask my sons if they know Skibbity Toilet, but if you ask them if they like it, it's a nothing to them. They're just like, I don't know what it is. They've seen it and they know the brand, they know what it is, but they're not into it. Right. I don't think anybody's into it, but they just watch it, which is bizarre.
Do you think
because
that's kind of what happened?
But I think
with that Hawk Tua girl, right? So
the same.
We like this
concept.
idea of it. It blew up, and then where was she just at a music festival?
Yeah, country concert. Yeah, we've been talking about it.
Nobody said anything.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares when they were because some old person thought, let's get her. We'll bring her to the festival. People will go crazy. But the minute that we were confronted actually with her, society said, "Oh no, we don't actually like her that much."
No, we don't even like her.
Misinterpreted.
We don't even know the person. We just like the joke.
Well, based on your own argument, are you feeling like Michael Bay is over-evaluating what this is?
No, because I know the marketing, and he's just interested in the marketing of it. It's like, if I create the Skibbity Toilet, the brand awareness of it is so gigantic that there's value. You know,
I think it's something like Peripheral. We were just talking about off air. Evil, this TV show that I love.
Yeah.
When there's demons and shit, and there's this one guy.
It's on Amazon, you said, right?
It's on Amazon. I love it. It's my favorite show. And there's this one character who's seeing someone, but he can't look at him. And he's in his peripherals. The minute he looks at him, he's gone. But if he's here, he can hear him, he can talk with him, and he can interact with him. And I think there's something about these initiatives, these things that are happening. If you look at them, they become intangible, and we fuck it up. But if it's here existing in this outside peripheral space,
organic,
that's when it gets huge and it's just growing, and you can't nail it down. But the minute you try to nail it down and make it into something, it's fucked up.
We'll be able to see this happen if Michael Bay moves forward, and then
that was perfect.
God, I'm smart.
You are smart
because
that's why we like you.
Good thing I didn't die.
You know what? We love you.
I love you.
It's an experiment that we'll see if the awareness of this had the viewership.
You might actually get to see the value.
Translate into something, because there is the marketing value, because this obviously has made a bunch of money. Yeah, and
this idea of that audience and how to tap that audience. Of course you'd want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and they're selling merchandise and stuff already.
Yeah,
and
he is. I was looking, he had little figurine, the original Skibbity Toilet figurine is sold out. That's an excellent ploy. Leave that one sold out. He's got the camera guy on there for $25 a pop. TV head, $25 a pop.
But it is hard for me to wrap my head around what the draw is beyond just avant-garde grandness.
I'll give you one for me that took me a second, and then I fell in love with it. Adventure Time. The show Adventure Time. It's a cartoon. When I first started watching it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is dumb. It's a show about...
Come on, grab your friends, go to...
That's the theme song. And it's basically just a weird cartoon.
It's a kid with a magic dog, and they go on adventures in post-apocalyptic Earth.
Perfectly said.
But is there comedy in the dialogue?
Yes, there is, but it's not straight-ahead comedy. It's not set them up, knock them down.
It shouldn't be for kids,
It shouldn't be for kids, but it's super hyper weird.
Yeah.
There's hyper weird things that they put in there. There's some things they do to be weird.
There's a girl that was the last human, but she becomes a vampire. It's the saddest story arc. Very adult story arc.
But it blew up. It blew up humongous. Yeah. And it was one of those things where I was like, and this maybe is a poor example because I do feel like this has more deep-rooted good storytelling than Skibbity Toilet does. But my point being, I didn't think it was for me at first, but the more I kind of watch it and stuff, I was like, oh, I really like this.
Have you seen them all?
I bought most of them. I have not seen them all.
They're so good. It gets crazy.
Yeah, and so...
Have you ever had anything that wasn't... Well, I mean, I would argue running for you. You didn't see the value in running?
No,
at first, but you started doing it, and now you really love it.
No, but that's an age. I mean, it's just exercise and cardio.
I know. I'm just talking about something that like this. I mean, I'm sure there are kids and adults that will find this Skibbity Toilet thing, right? And then they'll be like, "Oh, I kind of like this."
It's just weird that it's like this intangible zeitgeist. It's kind of like Gangnam Style, but that was rooted in a music video and a guy's career and a musician, right?
Okay.
But that thing around him. That nugget of specialness that exploded and that somebody, I don't know, that we all kind of resonated with.
Isn't it always rooted in for kids, though? Gangnam Style was for kids, too.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Well, music is different because all you need is some sort of catchy beat that we can,
But that's how this started, was the catchy beat and a weird...
Although there's no engagement, though. Because it's like, are people engaged into the characters?
I don't know.
Because my sons are not. They are just, they know of it, and that's the surface level.
But online, people discuss it because it is.
They're trying to figure it out.
Because it's still got that weird Madonna esque level of I don't know who the fuck this lady is, kind of like Skibbity Toilet. Nobody knows what it is. Yeah. So there's like this weird mystique behind it. So it does get people talking because it's a less is more. There's no real backstory
on it. Like a guerrilla marketing thing.
But that it makes you talk about it. But like, look what we're doing. We're giving it a solid 30 because we got to be a little bit intrigued.
But are they just looking at it because it's a car wreck, or it's like casino bells and whistles going off? You're just like looking at it, are kids just, or are they engaged into the story?
No, they're not engaged. In the story.
There's no engagement.
There's like this sinister undertone to it that makes me feel like there's more to come. Right? Like we're. I don't know. Like it's
that's it. No. You're onto something. It is. You feel like it's called Skibbity Toilet, which automatically isn't derogatory or vulgar, but for some weird reason it puts up that red flag.
Yeah.
Right? Skibbity sounds like, what does that mean? Is that your penis or is that shit? What is that?
It's kind of nightmare.
And then when you watch it, there are elements of war. People are there is violence. Yeah. Things are exploding. It's
very like AI dystopian.
Yeah, there is something that is almost like creepy about it that keeps me wanting to check back in to see, like, oh, let me check out what the hell's happening with Skibbity Toilet.
God, I can't wait to go on vacation. It's stressing me out.
we brought you in. What happened, Scott? He's like, what they talking about? It's Skibbity Toilet.
Skibbity Toilet. I'm never leaving my house again. And the sun's trying to kill me, and there's people with their heads in their toilet. I'm already looking for iguanas and snakes in my toilets. I don't need a singer.
And I know our listeners are like, who gives a shit? This is stupid. Like, whatever.
I think they're with it.
65 billion views.
I know.
Think about how many that is. Like 3 billion a month. Like, that's 7 times the entire population of the United States a month.
That's crazy.
Are viewing this nonsense, and there's got to be a reason for it.
But then it does come back to, when you see numbers like this, it kind of comes back to even me talking about friends I know that have like massive social presences. Massive, but it's a nothing.
Yeah, but
because what is a
this
view?
Is
but
something.
What is a Skibbity view? Like, so if your boy's watching that, what is that worth?
Well, there is an AdSense that YouTube has that it will tell you what it's worth. Like, I think it's worth million. Like, I mean, this company I think has made 20, 30, 50 million. I mean, it's some insane amount.
That kind of comes to the thing where people are like kind of questioning Skibbity Toilets and your bigger YouTubers like Mr. Beast, because at some point you're just finding something that psychologically is attractive to younger people.
Yeah.
And you're just shooting into their eyes in order to get a number you need on a screen.
And
that's kind of gross.
Well, it is, but then also, how do I crack that code? Will ChatGPT give me the code of how to make my own video like that?
I'm sure.
Skibbity poop.
Yeah, I read an article about a guy that worked for Mr. Beast that was talking about how he worked in a department where his job was literally just to go to other big YouTube channels, see what they're doing, write it all down, and then take their ideas, and how can we make that like a Mr. Beast version of that?
The healthy junk food kids that are here, like they would shoot their shows, and then they would send in their edits to a company that had like acquired them, and then the company would edit it down into things that they knew worked, like the way that it didn't always make sense when you were watching the video of the way it was cut, but they cut it that way because algorithmically they knew it's more predisposed to becoming viral.
Yeah.
And so that's how they were cutting all of their things. And sometimes there wouldn't even be like a narrative thread through the video.
Right.
But the way that it was cut, people just ate it up.
That's the thing I hate
for passive viewing.
That is the thing I hate about the Mr. Beast thing, is because then at that point, it's not a story. It's paperwork that you're doing to get a number.
Yeah, but well, that's what everybody's been doing with monetizing art. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. So there's art for art's sake,
right?
And then there's art for money.
My
right?
entrepreneur side in my brain is like, we'll figure that out.
Oh,
what is that recipe?
Yeah,
and then do it right, because otherwise I'll never have a viral video like that, because if with things that I'm just organically putting out and having fun with, I know I'm just doing that for me and people who like me. Yeah, it's not going to go any further.
Or you'll have have one viral video and then you won't be able to replicate that, which most people have.
We did that.
You know, you just got one viral and then
we did one viral before it really did anything for you, and we never did it again.
Same.
Yeah.
When we did at the White Castle when they were boxing up. The White Castle had that ghost kitchen. For a hot minute. And I did a video of them just boxing up burgers, and then I put it to that song Cups. You know, and she's like, and that was the most watched video we've ever had. That's all it was.
How many people watched it?
I don't even know. It was on TikTok.
It was a million or something?
Not even a million. It was probably like 100,000.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot.
And for me, that's a lot. And then John Bussicker's getting $1 million, you know, for his sheriff videos.
I know. How the hell did he do that?
You infiltrate a couple conservative Reddit groups.
Oh, they love it.
Oh, they'll be like,
if I was Mo, I'd be like, "Where's my million views? Let's do it for me, not the goddamn cops."
Well,
I'm sure that's part of it.
Mo could change a few things and you get a whole different algorithm if he wanted to.
We already have that guy.
Oh,
yeah, we do.
Well, this is old media, but Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out today.
Today.
You excited? You going?
I don't know if I should go today. It's going to be
probably
crazy.
It's going to be crazy. Hey, happy Deadpool Day. You're damn sure not going to get any spoilers.
I just watched the Hot Wings episode.
There's no way.
Good. Okay.
Oh, it was so good.
Let's talk about that. They reveal, I believe in that originally this movie was going to be a practical joke.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes of the movie was going to be a buddy cop movie called Alpha Cop.
They were pretending because they didn't want anyone to know. They didn't want to tell anybody it was Deadpool and Wolverine. They were going to make it sound like they were literally going to film like a shitty buddy cop movie that then turned into right Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, and then like 5 minutes in, they were going to have the Marvel logo just go, or the pages that flip, the where you see in the Spider-Man thing.
So they were going to release it as another movie.
Yeah, and then the idea
Deadpool.
would be that opening weekend, the numbers would come in initially for Alpha Cop, starring them,
and then it would spread,
but it wouldn't do well. And then you'd have nobody. What the fuck is that? And then 5 people, the people they show up, they start watching it. 5 minutes in. And then it just starts going crazy.
Ryan Reynolds is the only one that can really tackle the mutant part of the Marvel cinematic universe.
What do you mean by that?
Because you see I just don't think they can. Nobody seems able to just tackle Marvel comics as Marvel comics. They don't feel like comics sometimes when you watch them. But Ryan Reynolds, when he does his movies, I feel like he gets it. Maybe he's a fan.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? They can wear the costumes. They do the things.
No, he's always been a fan, right? He's been no bones about the fact that wouldn't.
So I trust this, especially since it's rated R. I can't wait to see what does that mean?
It's going to be.
What are we going to see?
There's no way that you can get tickets to go see it tonight, right? It's got to be all sold out,
I would
right?
assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's
maybe the downtown theater.
No, it's got to be sold. I mean, I don't know. Such a huge movie.
I don't
with
go
a
to
huge
the
franchise.
It's going to do. This will be the summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Is there anything else coming out that's kind of?
I mean, there's Beetlejuice 2. I mean, we talked to Chris Crespo.
No, well,
I'll watch that.
I was right about Terrifier. I guess Terrifier 3 is coming out.
I hate it already.
It looks so disgusting. I think it's coming out in October. Before Christmas. Okay. So it is going to come out.
It's obviously a horror movie.
Yeah, it's about this guy, Art the Clown. He's like this demonic, demonic rather. I don't really know his backstory.
Demonic is
he's demonic, and but what I do know is that
Demi Moore, but as a devil.
They use the most practical effects in this movie and the most blood, and it's absolutely disgusting. In the first movie, the first Terrifier movie. He brings home some lady of the night, some whore, and he hangs her upside down, and she's topless, her titties are out, and they're hanging out, and she's on a cross, and he takes a chainsaw and he just saws her from her pussy all the way.
Oh, come on! I don't want to see who watches this.
It sounded like Barcodes until you said the song.
And what makes it crazy is that instead of doing CGI. They build a rubber lady, and he's got a chainsaw, and he's going through it, and it's spraying blood everywhere.
That'll mess you up as an actor.
Which honestly makes you feel it changes. I have to read about these movies. I don't watch them.
Do you think that guy has to go talk to a therapist after he saw that? rubber woman.
You know, most people that I see that are really into these type of movies.
Yeah, but you're crazy.
Most of the people that I read that,
you like stuff porn.
that see this stuff, they're like, oh no, we know it's fake. It's just like The Boys, or it's just like Invincible. It's fake. It's just, it's just.
What do you think of The Boys?
I've only watched the first season, and that's recently. I watched it last couple of weeks ago when Maisie and Andrea were.
There was a male rape scene recently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they kind of laughed it off. The showrunners were like, "Oh, it was hilarious," and that's getting some big headlines right now. It's still rape.
Yeah.
Right. Hey guys, I mean,
just because it was a guy.
Now it is funnier. I'm just going to tell you again. I'm speaking of for the average man. It is a little bit funny.
But you've never been. Boy, you never.
No. I mean, not funny when it's happening to you, but
no, joke is always funny when it's happening.
I mean, a boofing rape and like regular rape too heavy.
What's a regular?
It's
going to get you in a lot of trouble.
Female.
The old regular.
It's regular.
Oh
my gosh!
You're
digging a hole.
Yeah, I can dig really further.
Oh my God! There's an inflatable pigeon down here.
I could dig all the way to China.
Where regular rape happens all the time.
Jesus Christ.
Let's take a break. When we come back,
you better.
I have. I'll keep talking. But again, none of our listeners they don't care.
Well, we'll find out.
So I want to ask Brendan about a Groundhog's Day theory that I have, and whether or not it would work. And then I want to talk about cheating in the Olympics.
That's going on.
And I have a theory.
It's your folks too.
Is what? I didn't listen. I zoned out.
Canada, New Zealand, women's soccer. Cheating scandal.
With drones.
Yeah. And then I got a theory about who is in the Olympics, and I figured it out.
Okay.
And so we'll talk all about that.
Brand new music from Drew Cutler. This is Ride Into the Sun, and it's really good. I think you'll like this. We'll be back with more A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. That was supposed to be momentarily.
Damn, it's 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. You're doing fine.
I think they would, if any of our clients would know about Skibbity Toilet, it would be this one. but they don't even know it.
This is relevant now.
They don't even know it.
I knew you were going to do it. I was like, well, this is the only time it works. Because if you have a problem with your Skibbity Toilet, Modern Plumbing Industries, modernpi.com.
We should do something with that because it's so hot right now. But these guys are awesome. You've used them. I've used them because in my house with all the different floors we have, I mean, I'm pushing doo-doo all up and down the house. Having plumbing problems is terrible. But when you know Modern PI, when you use our friends there, when you mention us, you end up getting a better deal.
Yep, 10% off if you mention Tom and Dan. So with any service. Also, they're a second-generation family-owned business servicing Central Florida since 1975. Seminole, Orange, Lake, Volusia, Osceola counties. Quality and integrity every time. Sewer, water quality calls, residential, commercial, industrial. They have 24-hour service calls as well. It's modernpi.com.
I'm not going to love you anymore.
That's the sequel to Potty. Patty Potty Potter.
Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Brendan O'Connor on the couch.
Hide your husbands.
Hide your wife. I ate ribs with that dude.
So, Brendan.
Yes.
So this is my Groundhog's Day question.
I love when you set up my questions, Tom.
And we stumbled upon this earlier this week, and we kind of talked about it. But in the movie,
sounds like we're perverts.
in the movie Groundhog's Day,
the answer is yes.
Bill Murray's character Phil, right? Like he relives the same day, and at a certain point in the movie,
did you just rewatch it?
He decides he wants to get with Rita, the female reporter, right?
Yeah.
Andy McDowell.
And so So then his
girl next door.
His goal,
Big Bush,
is because
say this?
But she's Italian, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. I mean,
from the waist down.
But she had the curly brown hair.
Yeah,
and she dressed like a bookshop owner or something.
Yeah, this was early '90s, so definitely Big Bush.
Big Bush.
yeah.
I think I'm into it
with handful titties.
So
I like that.
So in the movie,
Acorns.
he figures like he only has 24 hours, right? Because the day resets.
Right.
So his goal is to sleep with her in one day and seduce her basically in 24 hours.
Uh-huh.
So in the movie, he starts learning about her, what she likes, and then every day it resets. He'll like bring up like the poetry she likes and the places she's visited. Using manipulation essentially to
typical way a man would use this situation.
I mean, that is. I mean, I used to be Little Danny Groundhog.
He does an ice sculpture of her. Like he learns all these things. And now I
used to call them party tricks. My old shrink used to tell me to knock that off because I would collect them and
manipulative.
I'd go out on dates and then I would use a bunch of party tricks to charm the girl so I could fuck her.
Yeah, so, that's what what's it called? Those guys that think they deserve sex.
What?
You're talking about incels?
It's very incel, because...
No, I don't think I deserve it. I just work very hard for it like a clown.
You're doing the
terrorist?
I'm not a terrorist.
Involuntary celibate. Involuntarily celibate. Like they think they deserve sex. They're just not getting it, so they get mad.
I feel that way. That's what I tell my wife.
But that's kind of what this guy's doing, because he's like, I'm jumping through all these hoops. Where's my vagina?
So, and essentially it works in Groundhog's Day. He finally gets her back to his apartment.
You just want to charm her.
And
it turns out she's got a toothy vagina.
Oh, that's a movie.
So I started to think, could any of us do this to any person if we had unlimited days to do it and reset?
Yeah,
I think I could because and
who would it be?
I already
I
already have a very high, like, not to sound like Tom on because normally I don't ever sound like Tom, but I have a very high opinion of my chirping and my charming.
Oh yeah,
and I think at my peak, I don't know when my peak was.
Yeah,
but I do believe that I could sleep with any human I'd want to.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Now that is pretty braggadocious.
It's pretty braggadocious. It is.
Because
I'm not talking about anything forceful. I'm not talking about anything at all forceful.
Confidence.
I'm not talking about anything at all forceful.
With that kind of confidence, you could get it.
There are women
that find me disgusting and I can still sleep with them. I think I can.
See, now
I've had a lot of tall
with
women.
the Groundhog's Day scenario, or maybe obviously not with any scenario, but because the Groundhog's Day scenario is interesting because you get resets day after day, infinity, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you learn about the person, then through manipulation, because that's what it is essentially. Like you,
would you be okay with that?
What? Of course I would. It's a Groundhog's Day, Brendan.
Would it weigh
okay with it? We're stuck in an infinite Groundhog's Day.
On the 50th try, and you're like pretending.
I've already killed myself 1,000 times, Brendan. You understand? I'm okay with anything. I'm insane now.
Unfortunately, I feel like there's a little bit the insanity things. He's not wrong on it. At the 50th time, I kind of feel like it's a cheat code for a video game. And
it's not even real.
I got to go like, okay, remember she likes this flower. She goes like these restaurants. This is the place. I would have everything in a line and try to remember it.
But I don't know.
But then I got mad because I asked him if let's say I got something wrong. Let's say you were the love interest and we're talking, and I'm like, because that's why I'm going to take you to your favorite restaurant, Antonio's. And you're like, yeah.
I don't think I ever want
to. And let's say I blew it. I want the ability to be able to restart the day instantly. I don't want to have to go through the full 24 hours.
Oh, of having to live with the failure?
Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm so bored now. I go
kill yourself every time you
kill
fail.
Myself, but
if you kill yourself, it resets. So that's the way.
Okay, I kill myself.
Yeah.
Just then you're like, and then I have to watch the sunset again.
You just blow your head off back to
So what's the question?
Well, that's the question. Like, do you think that is possible? With any person you've ever met around you, eventually, given enough time to learn about them, and in one day time,
certain people that will read through the insincerity and just be like, "You're working me." I think eventually...
But you change it, you tweak it next time, so it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like
this
could
is a
you tweak it enough?
You'd have to be a fucking psycho killer, to shut yourself off enough that you could convince someone, there are some people that it just wouldn't work, I would think. Right?
I started thinking like this.
I don't believe in those people.
But because I was like, yeah.
I'm also the type of person, I think that if I were ever trapped in an elevator and then they came through the elevator speaker and said, excuse me, sir, you and the young woman in there will die in the elevator, that woman will want to sleep with me because we're going to die in there. Like, I always believe that I'd be charming enough to be able to talk to her. We get to talk.
Well, that's the difference between women and men.
You guys think about weird shit.
Yeah, we do. I don't think about Rome, though. I've never once thought about Rome.
I also don't want to change. You don't? I think about Rome all the time.
By the way, this only works for men.
With women?
Yeah, with women, really, because another man will be like,
if a woman came up to me and said anything to me, I'd be like, yeah, I'll fuck you.
Yeah. Do you want me to blow you behind this dumpster?
Even gay shit. Like if we were like alone long enough, like I think someone would be like, all right.
Oh yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, this doesn't work for gay men.
In an elevator, 100%.
It doesn't work really with gay men either. Men are just too horny.
If we were stuck on an island, you're not straight anymore if you're stuck on an island.
But I do think a woman could walk up to me and go like, I hate you, but I'll blow you, and I'm like, okay.
So that's what's the interesting part to me is
I think part of it was that she was just so unattainable, and that's why.
Well, you
and he was that kind of manipulative asshole that he just couldn't let it go.
Over a 24-hour period, could you manipulate someone given enough chances to sleep with you at the end of the day?
Always.
And I feel
like that's what I try to do at bingo. I think Brenda, when I'm Brenda, I feel like Brenda is maybe trying to groundhog some of those straight men into letting me give them a handy.
Because so let's say you're you look disgusting, like me. Who is that other
me?
Ron Jeremy?
No, but you could say I've actually had women, even though I don't find myself disgusting at all.
No,
there are some women that have said
you're so cute.
My height and the fact that I have an uncircumcised penis is disgusting.
I didn't know that. You're turtlenecking it?
I'm turtlenecking it.
Me too. Friends.
We can put them inside each other.
We can dock each other.
Yeah, like that cartoon that people get tattooed on them.
People pay big money to dock.
They do.
So let's say Ron Jeremy was the groundhog. and Andrea was Rita, the reporter, right? Because Andrea is not this person, right?
That's not going to happen.
Okay, yeah, you said it's not going to happen. But with unlimited days to try, could Ron Jeremy eventually sleep with Andrea in the 24-hour period through... an infinity amount of
he's standing there holding the base of his big weenie.
No, because she finds him disgusting.
Or
She'd
like
never
Donald
do that.
Trump or something.
Yeah.
No.
Because think about manipulation. You could make someone fall in love with you if they knew everything about you. Eventually, they could learn that through.
But I couldn't you tell
eternity.
if it was sincere? Couldn't you tell, Tom? Or would you?
You would become a great actor. You would become a great liar. You haven't.
I had a version of this. What if you have somebody that's really, really into you and does a ton of really nice things for you, but you're just never going to date them? Have you ever had an instance like that? Did you ever have somebody that admired you a lot? No, I had a girl, Jessica. I had this girl, Jessica, in middle school. I think I've talked about this before. She was the girl that had a heart transplant when she was super young, and she was really, really into me. And I didn't like that because people would make fun of her for being the heart kid, and I didn't want to be the kid that was liked by the heart kid because I'm a vapid, horrible person.
Okay, I was about to say
because you already stuck out.
Yeah, I'm telling the story.
Because you already stuck out. You stuck out already. You don't want to stick out more.
I'm already a kid.
Everybody goes through that.
Yeah. And I was nice to her. I was very nice to her. But
I made out with a girl with hydrocephalus.
What is that?
So the dolphin, we called her Dolphin Girl.
The hydrocephalus?
It makes you have a big forehead.
Oh.
She was kind of hairy. We made out. Because I was like, we might as well.
You felt bad for the whole dolphin head.
No, I was just like, I just don't know if anyone's going to make out with it. At that point in my high school, I think it was grade 10.
Okay.
Nobody wanted
it was like a charity.
I took advantage of it. I was the charity.
Yeah, but I was nice to her, but I was never, ever. She brought me cupcakes. She would do all these like super nice, like really sweet, awesome things. It was just never going to happen.
Well, if she was a groundhog, if she offered to blow you, okay, that doesn't work.
Okay,
so you're a better person now.
It would have to be an adult thing, right? Where she would have had to get to the point where she's like, "I'll blow you," and I'm like, "Okay, now we're talking."
But I just found it like, can someone be eventually manipulated into that act?
What a strange thing to think of while you were pooping one morning.
I think it happens all the time.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, in a fantasy groundhog scenario.
No, I think it happens. I think people get
fantasy groundhog.
People get manipulated in having sex all the time.
All
the time.
Also, I know I didn't even mention this, but Daniel was talking about smoking cigarettes in planes. And,
God, let me get this.
And so I didn't realize
I was blowing
they
his
banned
mind.
it. Like, did you know that?
Do you know when we stopped smoking on planes?
When we did?
Yeah.
Like, I was going to say that.
I'd say 80s or something.
I was going to say like 79 or something like that.
Okay.
I thought it was late 70s.
It was February 25th, 1990. It was George H. It was Herbert.
It
was Herbert Bush.
Old man Bush.
He banned it, smoking on flights of 6 hours or less. The exception was, and I didn't know about this, and this is the part that blew Tom's mind, pilots were allowed to smoke in the cockpit until the early 2000s.
Well, no. Yeah, that's crazy.
My joke was they were allowed to smoke until the song Nookie by Limp Bizkit came out, and then no more, guys. You're done. You're done.
You know, it's weird because no one ever
said a word about that. You know why? Because pilots are stone cold motherfuckers. They're like, nobody say a fucking word. We're smoking until 05.
I used to work the hotel bar I used to work at used to be where all the pilots and people would stay.
But you could smell it, right? Like if they were smoking in like 1999, the smell of the smoke would come out into the.
They had a little fan.
Yeah, but it's a closed tube.
Little fan.
Wouldn't you would smell it, right?
They were blowing into the toilet paper thing with the downy on the end.
So today smoking is banned on all domestic and international flights. Do you know the last country to ban smoking?
Canada.
No.
France.
China.
And
they banned it they banned both cabin and cockpit smoking in 2017.
You know,
wow.
They love their cigarettes and Elvis. You go to any Asian country, they love cigarettes, dude.
Right before the pandemic, they're like, enough.
I bet the countries that did it first were the ones that had to pay for universal health care, like Canada. I bet Canada was one of the...
Did you know that between 1950 and 1970, they would advertise cigarettes as a way to calm yourself if you were a nervous flyer like me? It was like literally built into the literature of the airlines.
Now it's like, have a gummy, but don't tell anybody.
In 1971, United Airlines was the first to introduce a non-smoking section. I remember going on planes with my parents.
Ashtrays.
I was born in 70. I was born in 76. I remember my parents smoking. I also remember my father wearing a jacket.
Oh, yeah, he's dressed nicer.
Yeah, my dad. And I also remember, and I was telling you this, it was driving me crazy, but for some reason, I always remember, and this is the only fast food restaurant in my brain about smoking, and it's Burger King.
Yeah.
Why Burger King?
I hate when people wear pajamas and bring a pillow on the...
All right, me too.
Oh, my God, you guys are the same. He gets so mad.
This is not a slumber party.
He wrote, you should have heard the first time he gave me a buddy pass to ride like nicely with, because, he has family that work for the airlines. And then we were flying. This motherfucker gave me a whole idea. Like him and Crystal were like, you got to wear pants. I want shoes. I want a nice collared shirt on, no T-shirt.
Well, with the buddy pass, you're representing that person. But even if you're just flying,
he made me dress up.
Yeah,
put some shoes on, goddamn. This is coming from me. You wear sandals.
I want to look cute. I want to look like Beckham. Like when he travels, he's always looking good. Like I want to because I'm not going anywhere. I'm going if I'm flying, it's usually like to go home to Canada, and my people are picking me up. And I always want them to think I got money when I go.
Then quit wearing pajamas. Bring your pillow. It's a fucking sleep time.
Here's a fun
Sit up.
Here's the
look
fun
at
fact.
the screen.
Did you know the bathrooms on planes still have to have an ashtray?
Really? Why?
They have to, in case somebody lights up illegally a cigarette, they have to have a place to put it out.
Oh, because they don't want them throwing it in the fucking toilet tissue bin.
No,
and
it's got
starting a
they'll
fire.
put it in there. It's a $4,000 fine, by
kill
the way.
everybody.
And here's the best thing that I learned about smoking on airplanes.
Things I learned.
Yeah, I know. Did you know that in 1993, they attempted to create a smokers-only airline called Smokers Express? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Where's that T-shirt? I want a Smokers Express Airlines T-shirt.
Can you imagine being the worker, like the staff, the stewardess, just coming, you just stink.
Smokers Express. It never got a license.
They smoke too.
It never happened. It never happened. And they could never get a license.
I worked at a smoking bar, and I just stank. Like, you just can't wash that off.
I remember working, like, Big Belly Brewery, or if I worked Latitudes, I would come home, and Andrew would be like, don't come inside. She'd make me take my clothes off outside.
Slut.
Because,
and make those
I stunk like shit.
Yeah. And
and any dumb, event we did at like in a smoking bar or something like that, like it would just like you would reek. You would just reek.
Remember what was the Junior's Diner?
Yeah.
Remember that? You'd go, whenever we ate there, we'd come out just stinking like grease.
Yeah. A lot of diners are like that. It's one of the reasons why, and I've brought this up on the show before, and I get made fun of by you and Andrea because I am a dainty boy. And if I'm having breakfast on Saturday and I'm dressed for the day, I don't like going to the diner and smelling like diner all day. If I get home, I'll have to take a shower and put on new clothes.
Change clothes.
Yeah, I don't like smelling like pancakes all day.
Pancakes is different. I wouldn't mind smelling like little cinnamon pancake. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. That's sexy.
No,
who doesn't like that?
I don't want any of that.
You don't want to smell like greasy breakfast potatoes.
So, Brendan, you said you're going to Canada a couple weeks?
Yeah, on the 7th. I'm going to go stay in my cabin again.
Hell yeah.
Well, your country cheated in the Olympics. So,
my country did not. My awful people, who were they with?
The women's soccer team.
Well, isn't even a sport.
Well, you guys are checking all boxes like the movie.
Some of those are like
the new movie Twins.
So I'm conflicted about liking Brendan. Some of our listeners.
It's my favorite thing. I tell Andrew about it.
They're like, I see the same things he sees.
They're like,
oh God.
My favorite thing is like he's saying that he's got tits and a wig on. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
I guess he can read to the kids.
You make people melt.
Yeah, I don't want to read to kids. Kids don't even like reading. You're wasting your time.
Yeah, Canada flew a drone over New Zealand, so it was like
at their practice match.
Yeah, so they could see the formations, and so they
we won.
Yeah, they did. They fucking won. You're right. I forgot the greatest punchline is they actually did
won.
It. They sent home it was like
one guy got fired immediately. Yeah. One guy's going to jail.
A writer, he's going to jail, and then they won the game.
They won the game.
Mission accomplished.
So I'm curious. I would like to talk to a soccer coach to find out how much of an advantage this gives you, because Belichick got in trouble for filming other teams' practices.
It's their plays. They're practicing those special plays, and if you know where they're going to be, how they're going to respond to certain attacks, then obviously it gives you a one up.
One article I read,
a little bit of an advantage.
I didn't think about this, but one article I read said that another thing that it would do is it would verify personnel, meaning that like injuries, people training. Because a lot of those, when you are going into bigger games like this, the Olympics, highest level, you're going to have matchups just like anything else.
Canada just must be so embarrassed, though.
But if
Canadians love the Olympics. They love it.
Really?
Everybody's watching it. It's like they're all at home. It's a huge deal.
It's an honor.
It is. And we get so excited when our teams and our athletes win, and because we all have a chip on our shoulder. We have little Napoleon syndrome, because we're just tiny. We're 33 million people live in Canada. So it's a big deal. So I can just imagine how embarrassed everybody is at home right now.
Yeah, but you guys are more of a winter sport country.
They've really been trying to improve their soccer. I know in Canadian men's,
very seriously.
Well, Canadian men's, we have a history with Canadian men's soccer with Kyle Larin he's still playing at the highest level. He's still still captaining the. I don't know if he's a captain anymore.
It must be huge. I guarantee it's national recycling news. Like everybody's talking about this right now, and how to keep it from happening.
And they're mad.
Now, my question is: so if this does give you a considerable advantage, right? Yeah. Then why aren't like people paying off like lower interns and like camera people that work for the team and stuff, like people that don't make that much money, because to tell like other teams what their personnel changes and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or videotape the practices on their cell phone and then sell it. Like, it doesn't seem like this is happening that much. And
it probably doesn't.
But it think should. It happens much because people take it seriously. And the whole thing about the Olympics is goodwill. You know,
well, why would you want it to? I mean, that's
to make money, though. Like,
no, but it's going to destroy the sport. You know, I wouldn't do it. You know, I mean, like,
well, I've some poor intern would take money from another team, like, hey, tell me all what you know. I'll pay you.
They care too much.
$5,000. Yeah, but
they're not making money. They're not making a lot of money. You know, as athletes at the Olympics. You know, like unless you have a sponsorship deal or something, like they're there because they
of course. No, I'm not talking about the athletes. I'm talking about the because every team,
they weed them out. I'm sure it happens all the time, but you're going to know because most people that work as an intern for like the Jacksonville Jaguars are only doing because they love it. They're not getting any money, and they'd have to be pissed off or mad or have a chip on their shoulder to try and sell them out or even put themselves. You could go to jail for that. Why would you do that? Why would you risk?
I don't think you can go to jail.
I think you can.
No, because there's nothing like you telling another team about some other plays. That's not illegal.
Well, I mean, it can blackball you forever.
It could, yeah.
You're acting as if it's free and you could just do it and there's nothing that can happen to you. Yeah. You could literally ruin your life.
Yeah, well,
your career.
Yeah, it could ruin your career. And if you can't get a job in the thing that you trained for, maybe you went to school, maybe you spent tons and tons of money going to college to be a sports medicine, whatever the fuck, and then you're going to risk that just for what, $50,000?
Yeah, I think people would.
Well, I think, but my point is, you'll weed those people out.
It also does a disservice.
You'll know that they shouldn't be there.
They want a disservice to the ladies who were on our team, who maybe we would have won anyway because they were trying so hard. So it's such a.
Based on your own argument, if it happened a lot, we'd see it.
Yeah, but their skills, they're already skilled. These are skilled, amazing athletes on the Canadian side too. You know, who fought to get there and they were selected to represent their country. And now because of these guys, maybe they didn't even use maybe the team wasn't even in on it. These guys are just doing it on their own.
Sure.
But because of that, now we're questioning whether or not these women on the Canadian side deserve that win.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the shitty part. The impact of that is it just really, it's so sad. It's really sad.
I'm just like, and Daniel worked with Orlando City. I've been at Orlando City practices. If, another team gave me money to tell them information, I'd do it.
No, you would not. You would not do that. I'm not going to let you get away with it. You're not going to do that. You're going to act big on the show. You would not do it.
I mean, it depends on the money.
No, not in a million years you wouldn't do it.
But what?
Not in a million years.
What? I mean,
you learned your lesson when you tried to sell out that quarterback for the Predators. And you said you'd never do a sports scandal again.
Well, that is directly contacting.
You would?
He would not. He's interacting he would not do that.
Well, if someone said, hey...
He's not a liar. He's not a cheat. Then somebody'd have to come to him and say, did you give him the secrets?
For $10,000.
Oh, don't lie.
And then you'd be like, I didn't go...
$10,000 if someone...
He's not going to do that.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's that many secrets. I think it's a nothing.
He's big talking.
No, if someone said, hey, are they playing caca in the practice? I'll be like, if they are like, here's $5,000. Were they playing caca
So you'd fly a drone over and film with your phone?
No. I'm just saying if they... I don't think that information is that irrelevant to anything.
Well, obviously it is because the impact has been huge on those. Well, that guy's going to jail.
What he's trying to say is that yes, what they did is impactful and they should not have done it and they should be punished for that. But the actual information they gathered, he loves to do this one. The actual information has zero value on the game of them winning.
I think it has a little bit of value, but not that much.
I think obviously you're wrong because the impact on these people has been huge.
It has because of what he did, but what I'm saying is that what the filming of the practice, I don't think makes that much of a difference.
Like he's saying,
I know what you're saying. saying. I completely disagree.
Yeah.
but what I'm saying, if it did, the practices would be a lot more closed off, because I've seen
they are closed off. The only way you could get in was with a drone.
Well,
they locked down the Orlando City ones, not like this.
But there are people I've been to Orlando City practices. There are people wandering around. There's interns and shit that people don't like make that much money and stuff. Like, you could easily pay them for information. I don't think the information's that valuable. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How come this turned into Dan sounding like he was validating a drunk uncle?
That's what happened.
Thanksgiving dinner. What you're saying is problematic. And
and the last thing that I saw is, I saw the story. Valencia got a grant from Lowe's to start a plumbing education program.
Oh, right? I didn't read that. I didn't get to read that.
Because
I was in the hospital. Keep going.
So basically,
oh my God.
So Lowe's,
poor me.
Lowe's gave a grant to
I love it.
to the Valencia Community College, and now they have a plumbing program, so you could learn plumbing
trades,
trade. And that's great, because obviously we need more tradespeople out there. Although I'm like,
right now,
can't you go to a plumbing company and work as an apprentice and learn inside the company?
You're still going to need to anyway.
But you get paid as an apprentice. That's why, and I'm not sure about how that works, but I'm throwing it out there for all our listeners to tell me how it works, because I'm like, why would you pay Valencia for the education of being a plumber when a company, I believe...
You have to log, isn't it like a pilot? Like, you have to log certain hours or something as an apprentice?
I mean, it's kind of like...
They still pay you a certain...
That's a great question.
I don't know if all apprentices are paid.
Like, that's the whole point. Like, blue-collar jobs, you can work and get trained by blue-collar companies. You don't have to go to colleges to learn them.
It's probably like a guided practicum, and then they work with like Lowe's, like a licensed Lowe's plumber, if you're going through that program, and then you have to clock that apprentice. Maybe it's just all guided. Like, they line up those apprenticeship hours with that company.
A couple of people in the chat room are saying that you actually end up getting a leg up on people that will come in with zero knowledge, and then they'll be like, well, we'll have the zero knowledge guy crawl under the shit trailer.
You go into with knowledge,
it's like my ROTC
but you're
buddies,
paying for it.
But my ROTC buddies would go in. I remember when they would stay in forever, and then they would work summer programs through ROTC or whatever, that's what we called it. And then at the end, when they would go into the military, they would come in with some stats. Yeah. Like, they weren't coming in as the lowest grunt rank. They were coming in with a little.
Yeah, in Canada,
that's a bad example, but
no. That's a great example. In Canada, there's colleges and universities, and when I was in school, if you wanted to go to university, that's where you would get like a doctorate degree or something, and you had to stay in high school for one more year. But if you wanted to go to college, that's where you were learning the trades. You could graduate in grade 12. And then you could learn to do solar farm stuff
or trade work,
plumbing,
electricity.
So there were two different streams for that. Yeah,
but
like Germany,
but in the United States, colleges, universities were white collar jobs, and then blue collar jobs you just got. Right, that's how it always was. You know what I'm saying?
No, there were trade schools around here.
There are.
I remember some of my buddies going to trade schools,
like DeVry.
If your dad owned a plumbing company, obviously, you could, or someone you
MMI,
could just start. Learn on the job.
I know there's some trades, but plumbing. I guess DeVry, there's electrical engineering.
But they're not teaching you about the liability shit that's behind it. I'm sure there's a whole other slew of behind the scenes running a business, a plumbing business that you're not going to learn on the job.
Right. Running a plumbing business really has nothing to do with the plumbing aspect. It's more of the business aspect.
Or at least it doesn't have to.
Business and managing
the
employees.
Theory of plumbing.
Growing a business. But actually doing the plumbing work, I just found it interesting because I was like, wait a minute. Now, is it going to become where these colleges are going to try to pivot to teach you blue collar jobs that before didn't cost you any money? Now you got to go to college to become a plumber, and you got to pay for that. I was like, wait a minute, it used to be free, or you used to be able to get paid to be an apprentice.
Clearly, Lowe's is seeing a dip or these companies are seeing dips in people who are applying for those jobs. And so if they're getting in early, like Disney did it with the food program. What am I saying?
The hospitality program.
Yeah. And so they're underwriting the hospitality program, and Rosen does it too.
That was the example I gave you this morning.
And it becomes a feeder. It can even start as early as high school. For some of these kids, they learn about cooking. Then they go to Valencia, and it's like cordon bleu. They get all the skills they need, and then they're guaranteed almost a job with like the parks or Disney or hotels afterwards, and they're tailor made for those companies.
Well, they've also been trained, and here's the best part, is that you're not just getting on-the-job training, you're being trained in the way that we like to do stuff.
Yeah.
So when we put you on the street, you already are in our image.
And there's something to be said about that being kind of gross and weird and big brothery. But
it is very big brothery.
But if you know what you want to do, like, why not end up at a company that's going to give you health insurance, too? And pay you to do the work.
Right. Although it's weird, because Lowe's, it would seem like... what's in it for them to train plumbers?
They must have a plumbing sidearm or something like.
I think it's just name recognition. Honestly, I think it's just slapping your name on something that feels like you're helping blue collar America.
But like Home Depot has in-house builders, like teams that will
do, but
DIY stuff.
Isn't most of that though outsourced?
I don't know.
I think most of it is to other contractors, just like any other, CG would do.
Yeah, because, when you get a contractor from Lowe's or Home Depot, they outsource. It's all outsourced.
I think it's just like any other CG.
But I really do believe retract everything.
Yeah, I just think I really do believe that at a day and age when it's hard to get eyes on anything and it's hard to be in good news, I feel like if you attach if it were Tom and Dan gave this amount of money to start a podcast school, then
it's just marketing.
Yeah, it's literally just like...
My friends that were in trades did great during the pandemic.
My God.
Oh, yeah.
All my marketing
people
friends,
I know.
I've had that discussion with Maisie. I was like, about how good trades can be.
Yeah.
And and learning those type of jobs are becoming more important in this AI age because, we don't have digital toilets. We have skibbity toilets.
Skibbity toilets.
The problem, I was about to say a cliched term, was like, some of the richest people I know are in the trades, but they own the company, which is completely different than working on the actual plumbing.
That applies to everything. You gotta own it to. I don't own bungalow. I wish I did.
Yeah, because that's more of like owning, being a business manager, learning how to scale a company, and that's completely different than the trade of plumbing.
Would you guys like to answer just a couple of voicemails and call it a day?
Yeah.
Is there anything?
Let's do one voicemail.
One voicemail? Yeah. All right. Let's do one right here. Oh, I don't know why that's not playing. Hold on here.
Locksmith is a dying trade. Looking in the chat.
Yeah. That's key.bdm.
Man, y'all are complaining about PV dogs peeing on the walls. I used to live with a small dog, little PV dog. PV wasn't the problem. It used to back his ass up on the wall before it pooped. It would shit on the wall, and sometimes it stuck.
What?
PV dog ain't shit.
I had a couple of friends that had a dog that would do that. The dog would back up. It would inch back, and then when it inch back, and it put its fucking ass flat on the wall and just shit on the wall like you were doing a rose on a cake.
Okay.
You know what that is? That's a constipation thing. Like when you have kittens.
I've never had kittens.
Well, if you're like really young kids, you have to rub their butt with like a hot cloth and to stimulate, to make them poop because they just can't poop on their own.
You have to rub their butthole with a hot cloth.
Like a hot cloth.
Wait a minute. So I learned something today. Let's end the show on this. So if you have kittens to make them poop, and this is for
because the mom would lick them.
This is for cat people. You have to get a hot rag, and you get to gently scratch their asshole with a hot rag, and then they'll shit.
Otherwise, they build up. So
good to know.
What I'm hearing from these dogs.
This is why I'm a dog person.
A little stimulation to let loose, and also maybe walk your dog more. If your dog's peeing all the time, like maybe it needs to be outside more. Take it for a walk.
There's also, I've seen homeless people poop up against underneath I-4.
I love it.
Also, they
I used to go.
So it's a thing.
I would park
saw a
under.
man's colostomy bag break under the I-40.
Oh my
I
God.
know.
Did you hand him a Ziploc
I
or
asked him
something?
if he wanted me to call him someone.
Yeah, you would have to. I remember I would park my car under the I-4 overpass when you could, and I would be walking.
It's coming back.
Is it coming back?
Yeah.
I'd walk over to Big Belly Brewery to do my gig, and I would always love, and I would go I would walk extra far to see all the different areas where I knew bums had shit, giant black streams of shit down a pillar.
They'd back their butt up to the pillar. And poop
but it would be black,
and they were like, "Fuck you, Buddy Dyer."
It would almost look like art. You'd see so many of them.
Why?
Can I say I've heard you tell this story before?
Yeah,
this is the second time on your show that I've heard you talk.
Well, this guy brought it up. I don't know. It jogged my memory.
I have two stories.
Shit pillars.
I have two stories.
Shit pillar story.
This guy said dogs do it.
Anyway, you want to get out of here?
Yeah, Brendan, what's on Bungalow on the Bus tonight?
We went to Lamp and Shade, which is a new restaurant/bar lounge in Mills 50 in the old Lamp Shade Affair building.
All right.
And it's beautiful. I was really, really impressed.
Oh, the old Lampshade building?
Yeah. Right next to Pink Floyd.
They finally got that old man out of there. We talked about it on the show because we'd laugh at it. I'd be like, who is...
Well, you're talking about the receipt man.
Lust cash transactor.
Yeah, you're talking about the cash transactor man.
Okay.
No, this is a different old man.
Oh, okay.
But very similar.
He was the last lamp repairman on that stretch of Mills 50. There used to be a whole bunch of lamp repair shops.
It was Lampland.
and I lived right there on that block. So we were watching that development of that project for years. They finally finished it.
And then they turned that building into a bar called Lamp and Shade.
Lamp and Shade. And it's the Thrive Hospitality Group. I was really
They
really
do like
impressed.
the hidden kind of places, right?
They did. No. They're starting to blow
We have a lot
up.
of little places here. Like you'll go to what's that place? You'll be like, well, that's the old shoe store. And they're like, no, it's not. It's,
Hanson's.
It's a place where you can go get cocktails.
Yeah,
and then you're like, well, what's that over there? And you're like, well, that's the old Farrier. And it's like, no, it's not. You could go in there and you could get baked pizzas.
I like Hanson Shoe Repair.
Yeah, do you guys like the hidden places?
That was
hidden
an
bars?
alleyway that a shoe shop guy filled in with brick. He made it into a building.
Do you like the hidden where it's like you go in there and it's supposed to be something else, but it's,
I do.
I appreciate their hard work.
It was a loaded question. I knew when I was throwing it.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the hospitality
When you walk in,
group,
are they like, shine those up for you?
are giant conglomerate groups buying up a lot?
Everything, yeah.
Okay, because
liquor licenses are expensive.
That was the heat that Primrose Lanes was getting. Because when they started,
TMG.
they're owned by TMG. They were getting a lot of heat.
They're doing this with doctors' offices. A friend of mine works for a doctor, and their doctor just got bought by a giant medical group.
My doctor's got a $15 hot dog.
And so like these giant conglomerate groups are like buying up a lot of these small businesses.
I have to.
Weird.
Two things. So the $15 hot dog, it's prime rib meat. So it's not like pig
I love
butts.
that hot
it's
dog.
not pig
No,
butts
I
and
love
things.
that. I'm in defense of that hot dog.
Yeah.
You know, I got put on the Instagram that attacked the hot dog as an ally. They're like, this man likes the hot dog. Fuck him.
Because it's a chef. It's a chef take on a hot dog.
Yeah, it's Jason Campbell. He rules.
I love that chef.
I love that guy.
TMG, groups like TMG, it's easier for them scale-wise to operate restaurants right now because they can order things in bulk. The liquor licenses can spread out. It's just, it makes more sense versus like a standalone restaurant right now. It's very difficult to make any money. We're going to see a lot of small places close in the next few years, and they're going to get purchased by these companies. There's like 4 companies at downtown that own a lot of those bars.
And you know what's interesting? It's like
that's not true, but it's not same ratio. Is kind of.
But
you were doing that for Tom, weren't you? In case he called you on that.
Well, no, I just felt it coming.
Well, it's funny because like this whole support small business, mom and pop businesses, whatever. It's like, oh, that's a one-off business, but it's not. It's owned by a giant conglomerate.
It's a family-owned. It's family. Same with Foxtail. People hate Foxtail, and it's but that's a local guy, local jobs. And there's a carrying capacity here locally in Orlando where people don't like when there's more like than maybe 6 locations that are owned by the same person. Jeff's Bagel Run is about to hit that capacity.
He's going to hit 30. He just got funding from a race car driver.
So he's franchising. So it's not him.
Jeff, advertise with Tom and Dan. I can sell your bagels. I believe in your product.
He does a great job.
Call me, 407-227-9504.
No, come on, don't give
my personal cell phone number. Call me.
Kelly's Homemade Ice Cream is edging up on it. And the Domu kids, the Domu cats are interesting, Jason and Johnny Chung, because they are investing in other Asian business owner concepts, and so they're kind of owning them, but it's not them running it. So it's easier for them to continue to expand, and people aren't mad at them about it.
Of course, and this is just listen.
Just something I've noticed.
People don't understand how hard it is to run a small business to begin with, and so when you have backing and you have money, and then you have procedures and stuff and you have buying power of a big company.
Yes,
it's like that's the only way for these small businesses to compete.
Staff between those locations. That's a huge thing too.
And I've seen this with a lot of even some of our sponsors and stuff that own multiple things and multiple bars and restaurants, and there's like conglomerate because they pool their resources together, and that's the only way to survive. Right?
Yeah. And normally they do different concepts so they can do like different things at a very high level, without having to worry about.
Good Salt Restaurant Group. They own Sato Sushi, Osprey Tavern, the Monroe, and Reyes Mezcaleria, and they're about to do a couple more. But everything they do is a little bit different. It's chef-driven and just very curated. And so they can continue to expand and nobody's going to be offended. But Foxtail is they're really... It's the same thing, and they're everywhere, and people are upset.
Yeah,
which I think is silly. But
I just want to ruin people's time when they think they're supporting a small mom and pop business.
That's fair.
It's really
the little things for you.
I answer those questions all day. So if any of your listeners are like, well, "Who is this? Who owns this?" You can email me or text us. In our social medias, we'll answer your questions about stuff like that.
They're all owned by giant conglomerates.
Not all.
And that's where you're giving your money.
If 70% of what is it? 100%? I don't know what it is. Most of a dollar spent locally stays local. Yeah. Versus if you go to First Watch, most of that dollar is going to go elsewhere. It's going to go back to that company in Timbuktu.
It's so consistently good.
Spend it local.
Yeah. And Timbuktu in China. That's where we're going. All right.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful vacation. Well, we're going to have a wonderful vacation.
We got all new shows next week. Monday through Friday, ACTs. We've got next Friday, AMT is going to be a wife cast. This Monday's BDM show, we got Jim Colbert on, which is it's a really funny show.
He is very conservative now. Holy smokes, that guy.
So if you're not a BDM,
my eyebrows.
Sign up to become a BDM. You can listen on Monday, and you'll get all new shows.
No, he just wouldn't make out with me. He's too conservative to do it.
So
I told you that story.
We'll see you live on Twitch in a week from now.
Yes.
But again, all new shows next week, and we appreciate you listening. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.
I am so fucking tired of doing podcasts. I'm literally done with them. I'm not doing any more podcasts.